Hello and welcome to episode 48 of What If Civilization Started Over. Let's get into it. Last episode 47 and a half, was a recap episode and a lot of stuff happened. But currently, the world is kind of in a stage. This Great Depression is still going on. But it's getting close to ending, and economical alliances aren't becoming as useful anymore. Let's just get off that alliance. Don't look at that. So if we get the alliances, something is happening in the blue country right now. Still instability in countries. The blue country, this Siberian one here, isn't in any alliance, and it doesn't have a good economy, so it's having a revolution. Let's see what those revolutions look like. And this is what the rebellions look like. The red one is communist and being supported by the 4-Point Star Alliance. The orange one is fascist and being supported by the Right Triangle Alliance. The green one is economicist and being supported by the Heart Alliance, and the purple one is democratic and doesn't have an alliance to be supported with. Yeah. So let's start this war. So quickly, the blue country is actually able to push back the democratic country because the democratic country is pretty weak and barely getting any support. And it's barely getting support from anybody, so it's quick to surrender. And the communist one is getting support, but it's getting pushed back because I maybe feel like it's a little hard to support something in Siberia. Yeah. And also because of that reason, this thing also falls. Surrenders. The economicist rebellion, though, with support from your neighbors literally right below you, is actually doing pretty well. And it's able to almost connect up with the fascist rebellion. If we look at the fascist rebellion, which is getting the most support and doing the best, they push up here and almost reach the capital and go around this lake, which is going to cause some troops to be pulled out of this area, making the economicist rebellion grow even bigger. But in the northern part, they are getting pushed back a little bit. But then the orange one, the fascist one, is going to take the capital of this and force this thing into surrender. Now let's look at a peace treaty of this war. If you saw those lines from earlier, that's what these are. This is what the red fascist country gets, and this is what the economicist country gets. Obviously, we need to add capitals, and once I get this up, the fascist one, if I can get the right size, one will go there, and the economicist one will go there. Oh, and also, I don't want to delete that layer. This thing? Yeah, there. And now we need to give the ideologies to these, which you already know. And these are the ideologies. And this blue country is still monarchist. And, you know something about countries and ideologies in this era. They tend to join alliances that are fully of their ideology. So, the red country joins the Right Triangle Alliance, and the green country will be joining the Heart Alliance. Yeah, that's a pretty major event, a country collapsing. Actually, a pretty big country collapsing. But since the Great Depression is kind of ending, there's some things we need to talk about, specifically in Europe. These economic alliances are collapsing. First country to leave the economic alliance, the up arrow economical alliance, is the red team. Because the economical sanctions last episode. Same thing follows with this country and this country. Yeah. But then a big country leaves this alliance. Bulgaria leaves this alliance. Which I can also move that colony from Africa. Yeah, that's a pretty big thing. And also the Square Alliance will be getting a new member in Europe. Who's it going to be specifically? the blue country. I guess the blue country is kind of aligned with these Russian people now, the Russians now. Also, the Irish leave the Up Arrow Economical Alliance. Obviously, we can remove that, remove that, and also that, and even that. Not that tiny bit, just that. What? Issue solved. And, yeah, it's not going very well for economical alliances. Economical alliances are collapsing, so because the Iranians would disband this lightning economical alliance. And the only economical alliance in the world now is the Up Arrow Alliance. Yeah. And when this occurs, this is occurring because the Great Depression, as of now, has ended. So now, economical alliances are basically pointless. And now, because of this, the world is mobilizing. All of these alliances are mobilizing for something big. The Star Alliance is mobilizing. The Right Triangle Alliance is mobilizing. The Diamond Alliance is mobilizing. Yeah. Also, the Heart Alliance is mobilizing. That's pretty big. And because of the Diamond Alliance, the Chinese country is going to switch their ideology. Something that hasn't happened. No, it has happened a lot. But the Chinese country switches their ideology to an economicist ideology in order to follow on with their allies. Yeah. And also, we even see a merging of the Diamond Alliance and the Heart Alliance, which will look something like this. But there is a reason why these countries actually merge their alliances. That doesn't happen very often. And there is a specific reason why. They have a sort of sense that something big might be happening soon. They just have a feeling, but they're not quite sure. Now let's look at these Turkish states, because this thing decides to join the Diamond Alliance. And currently, the Diamond Alliance is becoming also an economicist alliance. So many countries can join it. Okay. So with all this mobilization stuff, the world is getting kind of worried that a big world war literally just happened. What? Do we need another one of these? And the world is just saying, why? They do not want another world war. But some countries, specifically the ones that are dictatorships, I'm talking about you, Iran, may want something big to happen. The Iranian Empire has very, very expansionist policies. So they are very, very expansionist. As you can see, during the First World War, they completely took over all of this big Asian area here, all of this. They didn't have that in the First Empire. They expanded to India, Arabia, this area with Iran, Iraq, Mesopotamia with Iraq. Yeah. And they are looking for more land to expand into. And this is going to cause some controversy because you don't need this much land, and you're kind of all surrounded by enemies. If you attack one of these countries, a whole nother war that is even bigger than the First World War will take place. Yeah. But they do not care. They feel like they should own all of India, all of this Asian land here, all of the Arabian Peninsula, the whole Middle East basically, this giant area of Russia, and bunch of land. If you can see, I'm very, very badly coloring this in. They want their empire to look something like this. Which, in my book, I don't think that's going to happen without starting a world war. But there's also instability in Iran. Iran is having a very high rate of instability inside their country. A majority of the instability is within this area, makes sense, and these Indian areas, and also here. They have instability that in the area that looks something, if I can click it, looks something like this. They also have instability in all of this. So the only area they really don't have instability is their core territory, which also makes sense. Hello, this is me from the future, and my recording kind of cut out halfway through recording episode 48, this episode. So I'll just continue from here. I didn't really change the map very much on the actual layer. So the thumbnail is going to look different than what you're going to see here, but I'll try to make it as accurate as possible. But let's get back to it. So what I was saying is, like before the recording, Iran is very unstable, and their only real stable areas are over here. And there's a reason for that. And because of this, this happens. Communist and fascist uprisings in Iran. Yeah, let's start with this. So the fascist uprising is going to go up and take these northern areas and take the northern parts of the Purple Team, south of the Purple Team, and start pushing towards the capital and these other Central Asian areas. But the Iranians are going to be pushing back over here in the communist area, and and the communists are able to push down into Arabia. Like this. And then something else happens. When fascist troops start to go down and reach the capital, the Iranians will be sending more and more troops. But the Iranians will not just be seeing any troops. They will be seeing troops that are unexpected. But before we talk about that, we need to talk about the Great Depression ending. With the Great Depression just being over now, people are mobilizing. And mobilization across the entirety of Europe is beginning. So the Red Team is starting to put troops on the borders of the Purple Team, and so is the Square Alliance. And so is Bulgaria on the entire border of the Square Team. Yeah. And also across all of the African borders here. This is just a rough outline. And even in the Americas, across the Panama Canal, in the entirety of South America. Yeah, that's not very good. Also, mobilization from the Diamond Alliance across the Fascist Alliance starts. Yeah, that happens. And mobilization, the biggest part of it, across the entirety of the Iranian border is happening, with all of these alliances mobilizing across the borders. Not very good. And these are roughly what the mobilization lines look like. Probably more confusing stuff over here. But now that I've talked about those mobilization lines, I am actually going to be talking about what those troops saw. And they saw something unexpected. They saw troops, not just any troops. Troops from the Yellow Team in Iran fighting Iranian troops. They see this, and when they push in, they immediately report to the capital on what they saw. The capital starts to do a big operation up into the fascist rebels, and then the same thing happens in the communist area. They see Pink Team troops in the communist rebel area, and this is very scary because Also, they also see troops from every other one of the fascist countries within the Orange Rebel group, and all troops from each communist country in there. Yeah. And they'll be able to push in through here, and yeah, like something like this. And it'll look something like this. But on a warm summer day in the early 1930s, the Right Triangle Alliance declares war on the Iran Empire. Why do they do this? They do this to try to take down the great empire of Iran. All of the countries of this alliance will make a speech. Also the communists will. We have this threat. This threat is the greatest threat we've ever dealt with. We can't take this down on our own. We have to unite in order to take down the great empire. The empire that has killed millions. The empire that has been spread out through many cultures, from Arabia to Iraq to Turkey, all the way to Central Asia and its branches, and India, and obviously Iran itself. We need together to take down this great empire that is threatening the existence of all of us. We need to unite now. So if we unite, we take down this incoming threat of Iran. We take it down together. Sincerely, Yellow, the great ruler of the Fascist Alliance, the Yellow Team. That speech was made 2 days before this attack took place. And when it took place, when the Iranians realized, the Iranians declare war on the Right Triangle Alliance and the 4-Point Star Alliance, making the official start of World War II. Yep. And that is going to do it for today's video episode. And just saying, this won't look like this in the next episode. It'll look different. Pretend this looks like what it looks like in the next episode and in the thumbnail. Well, back to what I was saying. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. See you in the next episode, and bye!